Hello and welcome to Learning with the Boys and Girls Club. Today we're going to learn about calcium. Let's get started.
And now, ASAP Science presents the elements of the periodic table.
There's hydrogen and helium, then lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon everywhere, nitrogen all through the air with oxygen so you can breathe, and fluorine for your pretty teeth, neon to light up the signs, sodium for salty times,
magnesium,
aluminium, silicon,
phosphorus,
then sulfur, chlorine, then argon,
potassium,
and calcium so you'll grow strong,
scandium,
titanium, vanadium, and chromium, and manganese. This is the periodic table, no gas is stable, halogens and alkyl react aggressively. Each period will see new outer shells while electrons are added, moving to the right. Iron is the 26th, then cobalt, nickel coins you get, copper, zinc, and gallium, germanium, and arsenic, selenium, and bromine film, while krypton helps light up your room, rubidium, and strontium, then yttrium, zirconium,
niobium,
molybdenum, technetium,
ruthenium,
rhodium, palladium,
silverware,
then cadmium and indium,
tin cans,
antimony, then tellurium, and iodine, and xenon, and then cesium, and barium is 56, and this is where the table splits, where lanthanides have just begun, lanthanum, cerium, and praseodymium. Neodymium's next to promethium, then 62, samarium, europium, gadolinium, and terbium, dysprosium, holmium, erbium, thulium, ytterbium, lutetium, hafnium, tantalum, tungsten, then we're on to rhenium, osmium, and iridium, platinum, gold to make you rich till you grow old, mercury to tell you when it's really cold,
thallium,
and lead, then bismuth for your tummy,
polonium,
astatine would not be yummy,
radon,
francium will last a little time,
radium,
then actinides at 89. This is the periodic table, noble gas is stable, halogens and alkali react aggressively. Each period will see new outer shells where electrons are to the right. Actinium, thorium, protactinium, uranium, neptunium, plutonium, americium, curium, berkelium, californium, isonium, fermium, and olevium, nobelium, lawrencium, rutherfordium, wm, sprigium, borium, hesium, pneumatium, dubsidium, rhenium, copernicium, nihonium, flerovium, moscovium, livermorium, tennessine, and oganesson, and then we're done.
So what do you need today? You just need to bring your thinking cap, pencil, paper, index cards if you have them. If not, you can use paper and some markers if you have them. If you don't, that's okay too. If you have a lap book or a notebook, that would be great. But again, if you don't have it, that's okay too. Remember to pause your video as we go along because you will learn a lot more if you pause the video and participate. So let's dig in and have a great time together. Come on in. Our objectives today are to understand that calcium is an element, Ca on the periodic table. Calcium's atomic number is 20. Calcium is in the second column of the periodic table, so that means its outer shell has 2 electrons for bonding. Calcium has 20 protons and 20 electrons. Calcium's atomic weight is 40.08. Calcium is the 5th most abundant element in the Earth's crust. Calcium was discovered by Humphrey Davy in 1807, and calcium is a very important mineral for our body. Come on in and let's learn about what all this means. You must have heard of calcium before. Calcium is an important element that helps our bones stay strong and able to support our weight. Your nervous system also uses calcium to help transmit pulses throughout the body. So what does that mean? Here's the periodic table. Can you point out where calcium is on the periodic table? Pause the video and find calcium. If you said It is in the second column, fourth row, number 20. You are correct. Where can you find calcium? Not just in the periodic table, but in the world. Do you know where calcium is found? On at least 5 index cards or sheets of paper. You don't have to find whole sheets of paper or use whole sheets of paper for this. You can tear sheets of paper into small pieces. On at least 5 pieces of paper, cut into small pieces is fine, or on 5 index cards. I want you to write calcium or Ca and write the names of items or places that you find calcium. Remember, research or think of at least 5 places that you find calcium. Pause the video now and come back after you have done this. Ready? Go. Okay, now that you're back with us, there are so many places that calcium can be found. Food that we eat every day: milk, salmon, sardines, bok choy, collard greens, spinach, kale, figs, turnip greens, almonds, oranges, sesame seeds, arugula, mushrooms, shells. Calcium can be found in shells, clams, oysters, and other animals in the oceans that have shells. When we do a little looking, you'll find out that their shells are made of calcium. It's not pure calcium, but it adds the strength the way it does in our bones and teeth. Not just shells, but in our bones and teeth. Of course, there are many necessary elements in our body that calcium needs. Calcium is super important because it gives strength to our bones and teeth. That's not the crust of the earth. Calcium can be found in the crust of the earth. 3% of the earth's crust is made of calcium. It's everywhere. You rarely find it alone. It's almost always in the compound of other elements. That's right, in the Earth's crust, calcium can be found. Cement, the cement that you walk on the sidewalk, the cement by your house, the cement that your house was made out of, if your house is not wood. The lime is an important substance when you manufacture cement and eventually concrete. We wouldn't list it if it weren't true, but you will find that calcium is a major element in that mixture. Nerves and muscles in your body. It's essential, important for your bones and teeth, but it's also as important in smaller amounts to your nerves and muscles. At atomic level, calcium ions are used to trigger muscle and nervous activity. So calcium is found all throughout your body. More calcium facts. Calcium is an element on the periodic table. Ca. Calcium. Calcium atomic number is 20. Calcium's atomic number is 20. Calcium's atomic weight is 40.08. But when you are really asked what calcium's atomic number is, you just say 40 because it's rounded down to 40. Calcium is in the second column. So that means that it has 2 electrons for bonding. You see calcium? It's in the second column. So that means that it has 2 electrons for bonding. That also means that it is an alkaline metal. Calcium has 20 protons, which means it has 20 neutrons. Alkaline earth metals. We learned that it's in the second column on the periodic table. Alkaline earth metals have 2 valence electrons They're reactive earth metals that always combine with the nonmetals in nature, and several of the elements are important mineral nutrients. More calcium facts. We've gone over all of these before, but I think they're so important that we're going to go over them again. The key to strong bones and lifelong bone health, it helps bone and teeth formation, plays a key role in muscle movement, assists nerve function, helps blood vessels move blood, keeps muscles strong. So that's why it's so important to drink milk and eat vegetables. We already went over this too, but I think it's important that you remember that it's in the second column of the periodic table. More calcium facts. History. Calcium is Latin for lime, which is one of the most important elements found in the earliest periodic table, discovered several thousand years ago, but it wasn't ever isolated until 1808, when an English scientist, Sir Humphry Davy, became the first to isolate calcium and was credited as the discoverer of the element. Sir Humphry Davy. Calcium is the fifth most abundant element in Earth's crust. 3% of the Earth's crust is made of calcium. It's everywhere, but you rarely find it alone. It's almost always in some compound with other elements. Okay, it's your turn to try. It's your turn. Remember to pause the video after each question. Answer the question and then come back and see if you got your answer right. You can look back to find out what the answer is if you'd like. So let's get started. Okay, question number 1. Calcium is an element on the periodic table. What is the symbol or the letters of that element? Pause the video and come back and answer the question when you're done. If you said Ca, you are correct. Calcium is an element on the periodic table. Ca is the correct answer. Question number 2. Calcium's atomic number is what? Pause the video. 20. Calcium's atomic number is 20. Good job. Calcium is in the what column on the periodic table? So that means its outer shell has this many electrons for bonding. If you said calcium is in the second column of the periodic table, so that means its outer shell has 2 electrons for bonding, you are correct. Good job. Calcium has this many electrons and this many protons. Pause the video. If you said calcium has 20 protons and 20 electrons, you are correct. Yay, let's keep going. Calcium's atomic weight is what? If you said calcium's atomic weight is 40.08 or 40, you are correct. Calcium is the 5th most abundant element in the what? If you said calcium is the 5th most abundant element in the Earth's crust, you are correct. Let's move on. Calcium was discovered by who in 1807? If you said calcium was discovered by Humphry Davy in 1807, you're awesome. Calcium is a very important mineral for our what? You said calcium is a very important mineral for our body. You are awesome. You rock. I'm so proud of you.
And now, ASAP Science presents the elements of the periodic table.
There's hydrogen and helium, then lithium, beryllium, boron, carbon everywhere, nitrogen all through the air with oxygen so you can breathe, and fluorine for your pretty teeth, neon to light up the signs, sodium for salty times,
Magnesium,
aluminium, silicon,
phosphorus,
then sulfur, chlorine, then argon,
potassium,
and calcium so you'll grow strong,
scandium,
titanium, vanadium, and chromium, and manganese. This is the periodic table, noble gases stable, halogens and alkyl react aggressively. Each period will see new outer shells while electrons are added, moving to the right. Iron is the 26th, then cobalt, nickel coins you get, copper, zinc, and gallium, germanium, and arsenic, selenium, and bromine film, while krypton helps light up your room, rubidium, and strontium, then yttrium, zirconium,
niobium,
molybdenum, technetium,
ruthenium,
rhodium, palladium,
silverware,
then cadmium and indium,
tin cans,
antimony, then tellurium, and iodine, and xenon, and then cesium, and barium is 56, and this is where the table splits, where lanthanides have just begun, lanthanum, cerium, and praseodymium. Neodymium's next to promethium, then 62, samarium, europium, gadolinium, and terbium, dysprosium, holmium, erbium, thulium, ytterbium, lutetium, hafnium, tantalum, tungsten, then we're on to rhenium, osmium, and iridium, platinum, gold to make you rich till you grow old, mercury to tell you when it's really cold,
thallium,
and lead, then bismuth for your tummy,
polonium,
astatine would not be yummy,
radon,
francium will last a little time,
radium,
then actinides at 89. This is the periodic table, noble gases stable, halogens and alkali react aggressively. Each period will see new outer shells while electrons are to the right. Actinium, thorium, protactinium, uranium, neptunium, plutonium, americium, curium, berkelium, californium, isonium, fermium, and olevium, nobelium, lawrencium, rutherfordium, wm, sprigium, boreum, hesium, nemeterium, dubsidium, mercenium, copernicium, nihonium, flerovium, moscovium, livermorium, tennessine, and organesson, and then we're done.
Look for other lessons, such as how heat changes the temperature of objects, cool periodic table, real life stuff, what silly putty was really for, and why it all really matters. See you soon.